Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard-earned weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang, a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and brought to you every week on Community Radio 3CR. And a good morning, Gorilla. Good morning, Buzzer.
Good morning, Warren, and good morning, listeners. Morning, Buzzer.
Good morning. Aren't we going to dedicate this episode today to smutting for love, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
About Kathy and her little boyfriend, Michael. Hey, doesn't love do strange things to you, doesn't it?
Especially on Four Corners.
Your memory gets faded through love, doesn't it? A little bit?
I think your balls get big in your brains. That's what happens.
Oh, Michael, geez, you wouldn't think he was a $400,000 a year man, would you? Hey?
Well, a good question is how long he'll be remaining a $400,000 a year man.
You had a good analogy about that, Buzzer. They're the, what's his name, the bike rider?
The Lance Armstrong of the industrial relations system, aren't they, really? Just
in
keep
denial.
denying, just keep in denial. Smutting for love. It's I don't know who had a worse week, them or Caesar.
Or might I suggest, Nigel Hadgkiss.
What's happened with Nigel? I missed that one.
Nige was on the Senate Estimates inquiry this week, and those who read The Australian, that absolute shit Murdoch paper, would know that there was an allegation made by Nigel Hadgkiss, front page of The Australian a couple of weeks ago, in which he said there were 1,000 crimes committed on building sites around Australia in the last 12 months. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, Nigel, under cross-examination, had to admit there was no 1,000 crimes on building sites. There was not 948 breaches of Commonwealth workplace laws. In fact, they were not crimes, they were complaints. Yes, folks, complaints.
Bit of a difference
there were not 948 breaches of civil laws. And Nigel, to quote him, said it could be a complaint about a drain pipe over someone's back fence, unquote. And that was at the Senate Estimates hearing on the 22nd, last Thursday, the 22nd of October. Nigel, you have won the award for the world's greatest bullshit artist. And I must say, the Gorilla's having problems with the phone because Nigel's probably ringing in already to complain about what we've just said about him.
He'd have something in common with Fontaine, wouldn't he? Him and Fontaine. Because Fontaine got up and made all those allegations in the Royal Commission, didn't he? About the bikies and this and that. And when it come to the crunch, he had no evidence either, did he?
But let me finish the evidence that he did give. And this is definitely going to be a contender for absolute scallywag of the year, in my opinion. he admitted, when questioned by the Senate committee, that there in fact had only been 36 proceedings brought against people in the CFMEU and the ETU and so on. Only 36 proceedings brought in 14-15, of which only 12 were successful. So he's got a strike rate of 1 in 3. Now, Nige, you are full of shit. For God's sake.
The Showbag Award, mate.
The Showbag Award. But anyway, so we have had a week of people living in some other planet. Michael, Kathy, Caesar, and our good friend Nigel. So this week, to all those people, you're all going to get nominated for Scallywag of the Week, but let's get on with the rest of the show because there is some important stuff of interest to our members.
Brother,
watch out.
Someone wasn't at the pre-match meeting. We were going to go to sport and all that first, but someone led us into that, and you know who that was.
Yeah, what happened to your mate from Essendon? He's not with Essendon anymore, is he?
Well, we don't have drug cheats there, mate, so
Yeah,
we got
he's
rid
gone.
of him. We got
He
rid
was
of
on
him.
the way out, wasn't he?
No drug cheats there, mate. There's another one at St Kilda there. They got 2. The bloke that drank the lemonade, and now they got this bloke on the coke.
We cover all soft drinks.
Jeez, it's a bit hard coming in the sport after that first.
Well,
report.
yeah. Well, the Buzz did bounce the ball,
Yeah,
and
it
it went off in all sorts of directions.
They should have recalled it.
Yes, that's right. They should have recalled it. Anyway, let's move on because there is a matter of pressing importance in the minds of our members and the industry generally, and that is the RDO calendar for 2016. A matter of no small importance.
That's been a hot topic, that is. I'll tell you. Are we getting our nuts broken on the construction sites about that? I'm telling you.
Well, I've got to say, the good news is that we have probably achieved an agreed calendar for the whole industry, and that includes both the CFMEU and the unions like the ETU, the furnishing trades, and so on. And, I might add, our good friends among the employers. Now, we've had a situation, of course, where we've got an EBA to negotiate. We've got an EBA which finishes effectively at Christmas this year in terms of the RDO calendar. There's a Christmas shutdown already in the agreement, and we are trying to produce an interim agreement without actually having an EBA in place. However, all parties, including builders, are all anxious to know what we can produce in terms of a calendar. And can we produce a calendar which is going to be common for all unions in the industry and get away from this mess that has taken place over a number of years now? Well, the good news is, folks, I would suggest to you that by this time next week, there will not only be a calendar, it will be on the website, it will be out in print all over the industry, and it will reflect maybe won't please all the people in all the circumstances. It's not easy to please everybody, but I think we're going to have a calendar which is going to please most of the people most of the time, and in fact, it will be the first coordinated calendar in quite some years. So a good outcome, not only for the members, but also for the industry as a whole. So I am confident that by the time the Building Industry Group meets next Thursday, we will have something which everyone has ticked off on, and it will be published, and we can get on with next year.
As long as we're not ticked off about it.
So it's all systems go.
I am going to put my nuts on the line and say yes.
Can we read that calendar out now or not?
No.
No, well, no point in trying to show someone on radio what it looks like.
Yeah, good point.
Right, all I can say is...
So we can read that out. We'll be here for 3 days.
We've got a 9-day fortnight. Effectively, it is mucked up a little bit each year, as everyone knows, by where Easter is and where that falls in relation to Anzac Day and so on. But I think, and the Gorilla being a veteran of the industry, would say that's about as close as we're going to get to a 9-day fortnight.
Yeah, look, I'd have to say I've had a look at it, and we're only going on what the members voted on or did the survey on. We got the survey back, and it was unanimous that they wanted something similar to what we had last year. I think there was one time in September, one we had 3 or 4 or 5 week break or something there in the RDA, so they fixed that up. And they also want a longer break at Christmas, which they've done. So I think the unions looked at everything that people have asked for, and I think if you're not happy with this, well, you'll never be happy.
That's right. And one point that should be made known is that the Easter break, which has been a subject of controversy, will be an issue that is addressed in terms of a 6-day shutdown. So that's Friday through to Wednesday. Thursday and Friday will become optional, as it is with the ETU and so on. People will not be refused annual leave if they want it. At the moment it's compulsory, but now it will be optional. But it can't be refused. Anyway, it'll all be out.
Gangs, here to stay. You don't fight, you lose. Stand and struggle, stand to win.
Whatever it takes, whatever the stakes.
Now listen, we have got that competition running and we've been inundated by phone calls, but we probably would have if we give the phone number out. We forgot to do that last week, which we'll do this week. But there's a $100 voucher for the Palace Hotel for meals and drinks for anyone that rings up the radio station and gives a good reason, something they like on the show or something they don't like, or what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing.
Positive suggestions.
It doesn't have to be positive. We're happy with negative ones. Or we are. There was someone got quite upset about doing any negative things. I won't mention any names, Buzzer, but anyway.
What was that over?
Cheerio to Uncle Trevor, who I spoke to during the week, who's very happy with the show at the moment.
At the moment. And so anyway, it's a $100 voucher, so get on the phone now. The number is 9419-8377. Is that correct, Annie? Yes?
Office hours.
Office hours. Office hours, 9419-8377.
Not weekends.
Not weekends. So ring up and give us your advice or something you like or something you don't like, and we'll be the judging panels here, and we'll the best or worst one will get a $100 voucher for the Palace Hotel.
Now, just quickly.
Oh, quickly.
Just quickly, we want to mention down Tasmania today. Today's a holiday down there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They've got a half-decent calendar down there now, and they're working towards some good stuff down there. So all the best to Richie, and our mate's gone down there too. Grumpy Guts and Richie. 4-day weekend.
The rabbit's down there.
The rabbit, or what's the other name?
The rabbit's gone down to throw himself on a hand grenade.
The rabbit's down there for the show. It's the show. It's a show down at Tasmania, Hobart Show, isn't it? Is that what it's called, or what?
Yes, it is called Show Day, yes.
Yeah, and they're having a couple of days off, so all the best down there to the boys down there.
What's the rabbit doing down there? He's going to throw himself on a hand grenade, isn't he? I've heard, but...
Anyway, we won't go into that. Righto, now... Buzzer, can you tell us what happened during the week on a couple of jobs, because people do want job news, and there's been a couple of serious incidents.
Well, we noticed on CFMU Twitter there, if you had a look, there's a job down in Queens Road where Rafferty's doing 2 demolitions, number 12 and number 14. One's a sort of a facelift, and the other one's a complete demolition. They brought down a machine from Queensland, from a demolition company down there, and what really has gone on there a little bit, and it's a bit of a problem around the industry, is that the builder, they've taken away the builder in a lot of these jobs and given the clients are given the job directly to demolition companies, right? And it creates a bit of a problem.
Save a quid,
definitely. And even though the developer's not too bad down there, I think the choice of not having a builder on site might have made a difference, because they at least keep a bit of control on the job. When it's left up to the demolition companies, well, you know what happens. It's a bit hit or miss. Unfortunately, this was literally hit or miss, because we got a photo on the Twitter there of a bloke. Actually, Warren, it's one of yours. I think it could be a scaffolder about a few floors up there trying to undo a tie or take a tile. Anyway, we're doing a bit of an audit down there at the moment, and there's 2 jobs. Like I said, it would have helped if they put a builder down there to manage the demolition phase of the building, but that did not happen. So now they've had a bit of a problem down there for a few days, right?
Right, and more pressing
What
is
did happen?
the situation on the Icon job.
Yes, the Icon job on just up from the corner of the Flinders Street, Spencer Street, 29-storey job on a real small footprint there. Icon, formwork company, been around a long time, Mercav. Bit of a big job for them, let me say. And they were stripping some timber out of a void from the 14th floor. A bit of, I'd say it was about, is it 8x4 or 6x4? I'm looking at the photo. And it's a
4x2.
It's decent length too. It'd be 10 foot long in old terminology, nearly 2 metres. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds about right. It went down the air-conditioned void.
He interviews himself.
It went down the air-conditioned void, went down all the way and hit poor old Abdul, the tiler from Decca Tiling.
On the 3KZ.
Oh, and he had the helmet on. It split the helmet in two. It virtually knocked him unconscious. He was taken away in an ambulance. But the good news is Abdul is okay. Cheerio to Abdul out there. All the workmates are thinking of you down there in the job. And this goes to show we need to be very vigilant on the work procedures. The area down below where the hoist was, where he was pulling his stuff out, should have been locked off, and it wasn't. So it was a breakdown in the procedure there, and Icon needed to be a bit more vigilant, and so too Mercav.
Well,
You know,
yes, Mercav. Cheerio to our mate Fab. You're getting up in the sort of status of jobs you're doing, and there's obviously some problems. But in the end, the occupier of the site is Icon, and they are responsible for the health and safety issues on that job. And I would have thought that Icon have a bit to answer for. Fab, yes, you deserve a slap on the ear for...
Wet tram ticket.
But Icon, you are in control, and I think this is a serious incident. And again, if you are the builder, you are responsible. We've just said that in relation to the previous story about Rafferty. A builder on the job produces more safety, and then the second story contradicts what actually happens. So anyway, let's move it along, because we also need to give someone else a bit of a slap, and that's HMC.
HMC, yes. They did have a agreement in the
Fair Work.
Fair Work about having a non-union agreement. What we've heard.
Yeah, 38-hour week.
How much is a carpenter getting? $20 $20 an hour and all that. They reckon it was a mistake. We hope it was a mistake, because it will be a mistake. But anyway, and also we heard that they worked in the last RDO. So HMC better lift their game.
Well, the problem with...
Jeffrey Dart,
Yes.
you'll be the dartboard.
The problem with HMC is they've put an agreement into Fair Work, which actually contradicts the existing agreement that is before, which has been before our good friends at Fair Work some years ago and is still in place. They have not tried to, in fact, end that agreement. They've just tried to put this on top. They say it was all a horrible mistake, and they're blaming the MBA.
We agree with that.
Yeah, well, the MBA ain't all that competent, but I've got to say, HMC, okay, it might be the stuff-up theory of history, or alternatively, you're trying to be a bit clever. Nevertheless, there's a lot of blokes working for HMC who are working under the current agreement who are anxious. They didn't know anything about it, and suddenly they're getting told there's this agreement. Anyway, HMC are like a lot of lower-tier builders. They are not real good at what they do, and when it comes to issues like industrial relations, they leave a lot to be desired. So, boys, keep an eye on what's happening around your company, because sometimes people try to pull a few things on because the EBA is coming to an end and they think they might slip a dud agreement under our nose. Righto. Talking about dud agreements, Shafter, the China Free Trade Agreement.
Shafter.
Geez, that went through pretty quick at the end. I hope there was a proper consultation process with all of that.
What?
What's that?
You know, the unions were fighting the fight there, and the ALP just went bang at the end. I hope that there were some discussions took place about what the final outcome would be and what they'd agreed on before they went.
Well, the ACTU says the campaign against the China Free Trade goes on, and I think that's right. The BIG said the same on Thursday. The building industry group are very concerned that the ALP in keeping my suggestion with their history, always looking to get themselves out of controversy. The Trade Minister, Rob, made some allegations that the campaign run by the trade union movement was racist and xenophobic and all this stuff. And despite the fact that ordinary people in this country are being affected by this agreement, our good friends in the Liberal Party give a little bit, and the Labor Party grabbed it, and they think that solved all the problems. Well, I'm sorry, it ain't. And I think this whole issue of free trade agreements is going to continue because the people who lose are workers.
What else we got?
Scallywags.
I thought we were doing scallywags, no?
Well, to some extent we have done scallywags, but let's add some names. We've got HMC. We have got our good friends H&Y. We've got Mercav and Icon. And we've got Nigel Hadgkiss and Rafferty and Trymont for whinging about being nominated.
I don't think they got nominated, but they whinged because they reckon they did. Well, now we're nominated. You know, good Trymont, bunch of rats. How's that?
Righto.
To make them happy?
I got a couple of lates. This week, our good friend Danny G.
Twinkle toes.
Yeah, had a
Sookie Lala.
Had a bit to say.
Danny.
What's going on there?
Danny. Unfortunately, Danny is all about Danny, and he's not making much sense.
Look at me.
Yeah. But in terms of look at me, you can't beat Kathy and Michael. Quarter special.
Don't they love each other, that little couple, hey?
The Lance Armstrongs of industrial relations.
Geez,
Righto.
they believe their own lies, don't they? That's what they've done. They've convinced each other they're both telling the truth, haven't they? Really?
And
what about the blokes next door house? They got the barrister's house.
Oh, yeah.
He's footed the bill for a house next door. He's losing his memory, but he remembered that. I reckon I would too. Hey, we've got to make a move on. So, and look, I'm probably doing it the wrong stage here, but we've got to send the cheerio too.
Yeah.
Young Buffer, a good friend of the CFMU, or one of our members, traffic management bloke out at Chadstone, does a great job. Buffer's hit a bit of a hurdle with his health. He's had some tests done. Looks like has to have an operation that looks like probably cancer. So Buffer, to you and your family, we send a big cheerio from the Concrete Gang and all the members and the CFMU officials. You're hard as nails, I hope you get through this little hurdle, and you will. We know you will because you're as tough as nails, and good luck to you, Buff.
And a special cheerio to Johnny Parker, who continues to have health problems, and Johnny's boxing on. Good on you, Johnny.
Good on you, Johnny.
So we're...
Back to the Scallywag side.
So I'm taking it that we're going with Kathy and Michael.
I think it's a good take.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Well, I still fancy Nigel Hadgkiss myself.
Oh, yeah, well, we all know you fancied him.
I like little fat blokes who drink too much, eh? Hey? Good on you, Nige. Enjoy every minute of that huge salary you get.
Get something right too, will you, Nige?
Yeah, and stop bullshitting.
Yeah.
Righto. I want a trifecta.
Right,
I'm sorry, I'm going for the trifecta.
Yeah, well, you can.
Kathy, Michael, and Nige.
We might outvote you.
No, you won't, because you know I'm right.
You're right.
What about Caesar? Caesar salad.
Caesar's only talked when he's been in the box, not because he wants to go on four corners. Okay, now, Kathy, Michael and Nigel,
they're the winners.
Winners.
Before we go any further, we've got to mention Beans in the corner. Beans is a, what's he, a PA? What is he, Beans?
He's a trainee programmer.
Oh, Beans in the corner. So we'll get him on the microphone next couple of weeks. He's our new
publicity officer.
Publicity officer. I keep forgetting the Honourable Dave, but anyway.
Righto. We're going to go out in the same old way. Dare to struggle, dare to win. Good morning from the Concrete Gang.
If you don't fight,
you lose. And good morning from the Concrete Gang. Well done.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.